What is going on, everybody? I am waiting to get my sushi, and as I'm waiting to get my sushi, you know I gotta put in the work and make a video. Guys, I am going to be talking about Palantir, but before I start talking about Palantir, I just want to let you guys know something. If you want to make it in this world, and I don't give a flying fizzle about you specifically, but in a whole, I would love my subscribers to make it in life. If you really want to make it, you find time to make it. There's a saying, if you give me 100%, I will give you 110% back. But if you give me 99%, I'm not going to give you shit back. Which means you got to put the pedal to the metal and you got to make things happen. You got to give it your all. It's not easy juggling a family. It's not easy. I'm going back into the business that I left when my son was born. Juggling that, stocks, YouTube, so on and so forth. But, you know, at the end of the day, you got to do it. And how do you do it? You find little opportunities. And when I'm waiting for my sushi, he said it's going to be an extra 15 minutes. Fantastic. I was so happy to make a video. I remember 2 years ago, the price of Palantir was right around $30. This is the time that Kathy Wood loved Palantir. At the time, Kathy Wood did an interview. This was right after Palantir earnings, and Palantir's price dropped. 2 years ago, guys. Now, since then, Kathy Wood ended up selling, and she just rebought, right? She loved Palantir at $30. She was adding to Palantir at $30. Talking about if you invest into Palantir, you have a long-term investor mindset. If you're not investing in the long term, Palantir is not for you. Yada yada, so on and so forth. And it just shows you how flippy-floppy these, Main Street people are. People give YouTubers a bad name, but Main Street people are the same thing, Got out of Palantir, didn't really give a good reason, so on and so forth. But whatever. This is not a hate video. So I listened to that interview, which I'll play in just a moment. It's like 2.5 minutes, so I'll play it right after I'm done talking. And she said a couple of interesting things. At the time, government was 61% of Palantir's business. And she says something super important. She says, the revenue is down, the profits is down, but we're okay with that because they're reinvesting into innovation. And she says very few companies right now are worried about the long term, and they're all worried about the short term. And Palantir was different. She said this 2 years ago. You guys all listen to it. Make sure you watch this. She says right now, 61% of their business was government. Since then, U.S. commercial is their fastest growing segment, right? They're massive with U.S. commercial. But let's go back to the government. And she said something. She said, but that's okay. And specifically to Palantir, but in general too. That's okay because, as we know, some of the greatest businesses on the commercial side, the greatest discoveries, the greatest inventions, and the greatest help to mankind, definitely the greatest help to the United States citizens and United States population, was birthed through government. What does that mean? Palantir's existence happened by In-Q-Tel, which is the venture capitalist fund of the CIA. That's how Palantir came to be. They invested in Palantir. I think it's like 30 or 50 million they invested in Palantir. Then Palantir expanded their contracts. They expanded their relationships. They built their relationships. But that's how they started. I saw a commercial how Palantir essentially had an iPhone before iPhone actually came out. Really, really crazy shit, guys. Really, really crazy shit. And it wasn't obviously the iPhone, but it was a similar thing. So she says they always innovate, and a lot of things from government end up coming out. Where do you think Palantir Foundry came from? Palantir Foundry came out in like 2017, if I'm not mistaken. Palantir Foundry is Palantir Gotham. Palantir Gotham is what led to Palantir Foundry. Right now, innovation is just starting for Palantir. You have this Palantir AIP that came out, artificial intelligence platform. I guarantee you this all came from the U.S. Army. You have Meta Constellation. All of it came from the need for military. Palantir Edge, military. All of this stems from military. Right now, there's a huge AI run. Snowflake partners with NVIDIA. Databricks is doing large language models, so on and so forth. Everybody. Literally everybody. So PayPal is talking about artificial intelligence, right? Taking data and combing through it with artificial intelligence. We have such a crazy head start on everybody when it comes to artificial intelligence and innovation, because our innovation is being done right now. We are literally innovating right under your nose. The innovation that's happening right now is happening in the Ukrainian battlefields, in Ukraine. We're testing Meta Constellation. We're expanding Meta Constellation. We're testing AIP. We're expanding AIP. We're testing SkyKit. We're going to expand SkyKit. Guarantee you there's going to be a SkyKit version for commercial use in the future. Everything that we do, Palantir Edge, everything is being worked on the job training, on the field training. Everything is stemming from this. So our research, while other people have to pay for research and development, Palantir saves a shit ton of money because they are paid for their own research and development. And this is happening right now in Ukraine. You want to know where it happened before? The war on terror. Sorry, I can't pronounce that right. Terror. Whatever. This is where the innovation of Palantir happened. Like it, hate it, don't care. I'm telling you that's where it came from. And that's not a negative. That is a huge positive, a freaking plus. Because Palantir not only has been doing it, is doing it, and always will do it. As long as there is a need to bolster United States military. And it's going to be, guys, whatever happens right now with Russia and Ukraine, that is the beginning of this revitalization of the United States military. That's a fact. As the United States dollar is weakening, you need to strengthen it. And how do you strengthen it? It's not by gold. It's not the full faith of the American government. That's not what it is. The strength, right? The strength, let me show you guys. The strength of these things, the strength of these dollars is literally the United States military. That's it. If not for the United States military, this would literally be as worthless as this pack of gum. So you need to bolster the United States military so there's no question that the United States is strong, which means more on-the-job training, more research and development paid for by the United States military, paid for by militaries abroad, NATO, other friendly countries, so on and so forth. And from this is going to come major innovative products. Not just in AI, but AI that's adaptable across so many different fields. So many companies, just literally, guys, just look what's happening. Look to your left, look to your right, up, down, and all around. Everybody is trying to emulate Palantir. Large language models. All of a sudden, ChatGPT for businesses. This is now, wow, everyone's doing it. Palantir had the technology mad long ago. That's why Palantir made AIP lickety split, and they actually did a demo. In my comments, people used to complain, don't do the demo. The demo's not going to be good. It's going to be shit. Palantir had an amazing demo, actually working in real time. So I'm going to play you this clip. Pay attention to what Kathy Wood said, specifically about what she said, that most innovation comes from government. And that's how Palantir will continue, always did and always will innovate. And this is a huge positive that you cannot buy. You cannot just get lucky and have it. Palantir has it. On top of that, the Fed Start, which is Palantir using their FedRAMP program, IL6, IL5, and later IL6, to bring startups abroad to work with governments. Palantir and many other companies just signed a letter to the Senate saying open up the $877 billion military budget for new companies, foster innovation. I promise you, a lot of that $877 billion is going to be going to the Fed Start program. I'm telling you, through Palantir. Guys, thank you so much. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest, or have a great evening. I'm going to go eat my beautiful, delicious sushi right now. I deserve it. And please watch the rest of this video. You guys are going to really like this interview. Thank you and have a great day.
Let me ask you about Palantir, which we just found out you've added to Can you tell our viewers why you added rather significantly to your stake in Palantir?
Yes, they reported yesterday, and the stock was down on the report. It's interesting to listen to the CEO. He was speaking our language. He essentially said to investors, you know, we are playing in a massive space here, and we're going to invest aggressively now in order to capitalize on the exponential changes that are taking place here. So if you are short term in your focus, you probably don't want to spend too much time investing in Palantir. So that's music to our ears because, and we do believe more and more companies are going to start behaving in this way instead of catering to short term time horizons and we would say in some cases, short-sighted shareholders who are much more interested in profits now, dividends now, share repurchases now, than they are in a company investing aggressively for going short-term profitability in order to really to catch some very big waves out there. So I'm astonished. Their revenues are still 61% government, but I've learned, and I think most people in the innovation space have learned over time, that some of the most important innovations in our lifetimes have started in the government, especially in the defense sector and in the intelligence sector. So we think in many ways, and they won't talk about how, but they're certainly garnering a lot of business, which tells us that they are seeing in the future and investing in the future in ways that companies, governments, but increasingly companies are going to need, especially as we're competing against China. I think we've been, again, with this short-term time horizon, we have not been spending enough in innovation. And so, you know, Palantir's attitude is refreshing. It's exactly how we invest. We want our companies to invest aggressively. We don't want profits now. We want them to invest aggressively because we're moving into many winner-take-most markets. And the autonomous taxi world is a very good example of that. That is why our confidence in Tesla, going back to the largest position in our portfolio, is so high.